Okay, we'll go. Sure. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. So tonight there is no business to be transacted. There's no business items for the city. It's simply the opportunity for us to hear from the public, for you to make a 3-minute presentation on whatever topic or item you want to present. So all we ask is that you be respectful of the other people here. We have a full room of people with different interests and different things that they want to share, and we just ask that you not prevent somebody else who came here on some other issue, other than the one you came here to talk about, from having their chance to share whatever they want to share with us. And we want to conduct the meeting in an orderly fashion, but to the extent that we can't conduct an orderly meeting, we'll just have to adjourn the meeting. So we're just asking you to be respectful of the other people here. Maybe they have an issue they want to talk about tonight that you don't care 2 weeks about, and you didn't come here. But to give us a forum where we can come one at a time, make our presentation, and respect us keeping it an orderly meeting so that these other folks have a fair opportunity, who came out tonight too, to speak on a different topic, that they'll have that fair opportunity too. So with that, we'll go ahead and start. And you come to the microphone, and just one at a time, and each person has 3 minutes to present. So whoever our first speaker is glad to take the microphone.
Locals first.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. The microphone on? Can you hear me okay? Great. Hi, my name is Brian Beckman. Who do I submit the cards to?
It's not on.
No, I don't.
There's a green light there.
Thank you, Julia. I heard it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Brian Beckman. I live in Clearwater, and I'd like to ask the council to consider creating a small program to help residents lower their energy bills using a very small portion of the savings from city programs related to energy. As you probably know, residents are being hit hard each month with higher and higher energy bills, especially during the summer. Duke Energy has very limited programs to help residents lower their energy costs. And there are many ways to help residents lower their energy bills, but most require replacement of appliances, weatherization, or solar. Dunedin has some great examples of rebate programs that lower these types of initial costs. Clearwater could do something similar by leveraging savings the city is already realizing from their energy efficiency program via partnership with Synergistic, for instance. As of the beginning of this year, hopefully people already know this year, as the dust gets sent out in the sustainability newsletter, as of the beginning of this year, those savings have amounted to around $2.5 million. The city could reinvest a small portion of those savings back into the community to help residents install their own energy efficiencies. It would essentially compound the city savings across the community. Another potential source of savings to leverage could be from city solar installations that are happening right now. It would be great if Clearwater could start a small pilot program that could demonstrate the impact to our community on this topic. Thank you.
Next speaker. Anyone else?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Lori Megison. I am a longtime Clearwater resident. I live in the Glenwood community, and I'm here tonight to respectfully request that you place neighborhood safety for the Drew Street segment of Drew Street a priority as the Florida Department of Transportation completes its redesign of the Drew Street plan. Now, I understand that Drew Street has long been a hot-button issue for this council, but now you have a real opportunity to finally fix this long-standing problem. I understand that Florida Department of Transportation intends to complete 60% of its redesign of the Drew Street plan by mid-May, and yet we have I should say, in terms of neighborhood safety improvements to the neighborhood segment of the roadway. So if you're wondering why I'm speaking to you tonight about this, it's because the issue is very personal to me. I have been hit twice while driving on Drew Street, and my husband was back-ended and incurred injuries that took almost a year for him to heal. And yet I consider us among the fortunate ones every time that I see the markers along Drew Street that commemorate those who we've lost to fatalities on this dangerous roadway. Now, I recently looked at 10 years of Drew Street crash data through 2023 from US 19 to Osceola. And I've got to tell you, I was really surprised to learn that out of the 6 fatalities over that time frame, 5 of them were in the residential segment. 3 of them were within a few blocks of Crest Lake Park. And in fact, from my analysis of the data, over half of the pedestrian accidents during that time frame and almost half of the bicyclist accidents were in the neighborhood segment of the roadway. So after this council voted against the initial plan last June, I decided to educate myself to better understand how we got to this point. And so I found what I learned in terms of the process for how the city took on the Drew Street Safety Initiative to be so important and so informative for the process moving forward that I documented it in a position paper that I shared with all of you via email yesterday. And so one of the things that I learned is that, first of all, the Drew Street project was initiated by the city in 2016 at the request of neighborhood leaders who were concerned about the safety issues. Another thing that I learned is that the city did, in my opinion, a remarkable job engaging thousands of stakeholders from multiple sectors in a very robust process that led to the initial Drew Street design. And yet, I must tell you, I'm a little disappointed that ever since you all voted against that design last June, I have not heard of any attempt from the city to re-engage stakeholders in the process of the redesign, and so I'm here respectfully tonight to ask you to do so now. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Glenda Wentworth. I'm president of Morningside Meadows Homeowners Association. I think most of you know me. I'm here to talk about the flooding that occurred in our neighborhood during Hurricane Milton this fall. I think some of you may not be aware of it. Some of you are, but that's what I'm here today to talk about. We have 2 small lakes in our neighborhood into which the stormwater from our entire neighborhood flows. The lakes are connected by one 5-foot in diameter pipe. I can nearly stand up in it. It runs between the 2 lakes under Stewart. The larger of the 2 lakes backed up during Milton because this pipe got completely clogged with what we soon found out was both fresh and very old hardened vegetation from the lake that had accumulated there over years. The result was flooding of many of the 44 homes that surround the lake, as well as flooding several streets and totaling cars and blocking our east entrance. Millions of dollars of damage were done, and we were very lucky that no one was injured. I think all of us agree that this was preventable. Number one, the pipe had not been inspected for years. The last inspection was 6 years ago, when only a portion of the pipe was inspected for repaving of the road. A fiber optic line from Frontier had pierced the pipe 2 years prior, and no one knew about that. This can and must be prevented in the future. Please help us make that happen.
Tricia Kirby, I live in the city of Clearwater. So, similar to Glenna, I live on Sunny Lake. The city built 2 outflow pipes into our lake for stormwater runoff. And they made a mistake. They did poor design on the pipe outflows, causing the lake to silt in on a regular basis. So it went from being 3 to 5 feet deep to maybe 3 to 5 inches deep. And then the city kindly came and would dig out the lake every 5 to 10 years to put the depth back into the lake again. And then Melvin took the stormwater role. And Melvin, the director of stormwater, decided that no, we're not digging out the lake anymore. And then he accused me of lying that you guys ever dug out the lake. And I was like, I have photos of your equipment in my lake. And he's like, oh no, you paid for that. And I was like, no, I didn't hire equipment to come and dig out a lake. I didn't. And I told him, I said, if you guys, the city of Clearwater doesn't dig this lake out again, it's going to silt in more, which it did, and it's going to cause a flood someday, and that's not a good thing. And guess what came home to roost last year? A huge flood. Our entire neighborhood flooded with a foot or more of water. If you drive through our neighborhood today, you will still see pods stuck out in front of people's houses. Now, I feel horrible. I can't even tell you. I cried because of what happened to my neighborhood, because I felt like, dang, I have Lyme disease and I don't have the energy and bandwidth to sit here and fight with the city on a regular basis about this, but this is your responsibility. Fix the pipes. My property line is getting eroded. I've lost 3 trees, and I love trees. 3 trees have fallen into the lake with it being eaten away because of the poor design of the pipes. I mean, at this point, I don't know what to say, but I want it fixed because it's going to save our neighborhood from ever being flooded again, I hope. But at the same time, it's the right thing to do. They designed it wrong. It needs to be done so that the channel digs itself out when the outflow flows instead of eating away around it, creating a big island and silting in. So that's what I'm asking. Please, with the stormwater, please consider our neighborhood as well. These are lovely people who cried big tears with the flooding. I mean, I went and talked with them, and I felt really bad. I did. And I felt especially bad that I felt like I should have pushed harder, but I didn't know this was going to happen, but I had a feeling. Please.
Stewart Boulevard. I reside in the Morningside neighborhood that Glenna's head of, and I'm part of the lake committee that is communicating with the city on a regular basis in our concerns. Bruce, you may remember me. You came to my house following the Hurricane Milton. My home is adjacent to the storm drain that caused the flooding of the 44 homes in our neighborhood. I've provided I left it up there, but I've provided you each the pictures of what is on your videos underneath the storm drain after Hurricane Milton. These photos are from the video. What you're looking at is the sanitation line that runs right through our storm drain. It's not in the box between the storm drains, it's right through it, and it's at the base of my driveway. It is the location where the flow of the water stopped, and it filled our east lake to the point water flooded the homes, and it escaped between the fences. In one of the photos, there's an orange line from the Frontier Cable Company. The city had Frontier's subcontractor Lamberts come out. They removed the orange line. They repaired the road that washed out, and they fixed the driveway. So thank you for that. But what's not happened or been addressed is the sanitation line. It's still present. It still puts our neighborhood at continued risk of flooding in the future. The sanitation line is our #1 priority that needs addressed. And it's been 4 months since Hurricane Milton, and we are 3 months away from the next hurricane season. My next concern is the lining of our storm drains. There are 3 storm drains that connect our east lake to the west lake, and none of them have been lined to date. 2 weeks ago, residents adjacent to the storm drain were told that the lining process was going to occur, but it has not occurred, and we have no updates on when it will occur. The third topic has to do with the system that the city is contracting out that is going to prevent any debris entering this East Lake storm drain. Contractors have been out to assess the situation, and I've asked for updates from Marcus with no information being offered to our lake committee. Our lake committee would like to be updated on what the structure is being designed.
Lastly, on a personal note, the south side of my home was washed out from the floodwaters. I have grave concerns to the foundation of my home, as the earth below some of the concrete was gone after the storm. I've asked for this to be addressed, but was told it would not be addressed until the storm drain was lined. This week, someone brought out dirt for filling holes, but this still does not address the foundation of my home. The stability of the earth above the storm drain is weak, and it has holes that are adjacent to my house. I need my home to be secure, and it's been 4 months, and I'm waiting for it to be addressed. Thank you for your time. I've provided my contact information with the photos.
Use that little thing here to speak. I'm here with the merchants, and if the merchants want to stand up, just sort of take a shake and come up here. Many of us here as part of the merchant group. Quickly come back and show that we're here united. This topic is something that I hope is very strong to me. I invested my whole life savings into the 500 block and 400 block. It's something that means everything to me. And there's some things in the city that we can't control. The enemy is not in this room, no matter how many people will convince you that it is. These people, I know them personally, and I've seen them work for the betterment of this community. The enemy lies in the shadows, in negotiations that we do not see here. We need to be united in things that we can't control. If we're going to lose battles of property, we need to stand together in things that we do have ownership of. We do have control of. And the last hope that we have, that people say does not exist anymore, is the 400 and 500 block. Allow the merchants to be the voices that need to be heard. Allow us to carve our own destiny and have events for the 400 and 500 block. Let us not be burdened or squashed by stagnation. Let us be the cultivators of something new here. And with that being said, I would like to tell you guys that I would like to present Jake. He has a brilliant idea to try to unify the 400 500 block, to do events not just for one event, or inconsistent events like we've seen with the Blast Fridays, but something that will create a narrative of unity in the merchants, in our community. And if you guys understand what I'm talking about, stand with me, because the real problem for downtown, the real fight, is not with that. Jake?
I didn't know I was talking today. So the idea of kind of following up with what Tony said is, for all of you that, I don't think he even introduced himself, but bringing back events to downtown Clearwater and making these events annual events that people want to bring their families to each year. Over and over, families in Clearwater are leaving to go to Dunedin, they're leaving to go to Safety Harbor. Great towns. We all love that our neighbors are great towns. However, we have a great town too, and we have a great park, and we have a great downtown with some really nice restaurants and some really quality owners who have kind of taken the reins here and have asked for us to come in. So I have an entertainment company here in the area. We've done a bunch of events downtown. Some of you guys have probably seen my face on. I've announced you for a lot of events here. But so we want to start bringing things like Halloween, things like Christmas time, big events that will bring families in our community, that we don't have to go to these outside communities. Again, these outside communities are great, but we live in a really nice city. And we have a really nice downtown that we need to take advantage of. And so we're going to be presenting an annual plan of multiple events, not just one thing, but month over month, weekend over weekend, things to keep bringing people downtown. And so that's what we're going to be bringing up here to the committee.
So let's start with the actions that we can control, and I think it's something we can control. Maybe we can't control the rest of the city with the narratives that are there, but let's control this. Let's be part of the team. Let's unite for the city that we all believe in.
Thank you, Tony. Next speaker.
I'm gonna let the local go.
I'm Mr. Valuva, and like some of the things you've heard, I'm disappointed with leadership in Clearwater also. Take Mr. Albritton, for example. city manager, according to city charter, should have been selected by a nationwide search. Not according to Mr. Albritton. Gandy should not have been allowed to take his retirement benefits and remain with Clearwater Police. Not according to Mr. Albritton. Onks was a disaster. Once again, Albritton ignored the city charter, which called for a special election in that situation. Now, myself and many people heard Mr. Albritton at the council meeting one before last say that he and I have a difference of opinion according to or regarding Clearwater Police. Yes, we do. My opinion is based on Clearwater Police facts and records of wrongdoing, Mr. Albritton, not some disassociative trance that you seem to be in. Albritton supports the ferry system. It's also another indication of some blind support of a wasteful and worthless undertaking. It's not going to work. And since we have a North Beach update at every one of these meetings, which I believe was at Mr. Albritton's insistence, I have one. It's probably going to wash away in the Gulf of America. We need new leadership with a new plan. Folks that are not afraid to stand up to the likes of Wallach, Gandy, and Slaughter. The fiefdom that actually runs this city and what I like to refer to as the local Three Stooges. We need new blood. Somebody who will protect and defend the right of free speech and not undermine it as Mr. Albritton has done many, many times. Go find another hobby, Mr. Albritton. Go enjoy yourself. But I'm calling on you to resign right now.
Hi, friends. How y'all doing? None of this had to happen. And please, for record, please just. None of this ever had to happen. We've offered the olive branch numerous times for you to just have this at your council. Look at this. Are you seeing how many people are in this room right now for public? This is what the people are actually wanting. This is what they want. They just want their public comment. And I've not only told Mr. Cotton, and I've not only told you, I would not have drove 4 hours today. I didn't want to come 4 hours. Just give it to the wait. Look at these. Look at this. This is what the people want in your county or in your city. All you had to do was just take the olive branch that not only myself, Mr. Phylax, all of us have offered you guys. And if you don't want it, then we're just going to keep coming back. You make it seem like this isn't going to get put out on YouTube. You make it seem like we're going to go against the grain every single time when people go against our rights. That's the whole premise. The whole premise of when Miss what's her friggin' name? I can't remember her name. McNasty. I always call her McNasty, McNasty or whatever. She put her hands on me, detained me, threw in the back of a car for 45 minutes, and here I am. And I've never let that go. And then Gandy, he put his hands on me. And then Slaughter, that's not here, he just went along with the ride. Just give it back to all these people. to go away?
Go back home 4 hours away. That's where you belong.
Hey, stop sucking their booty, bro. Stop hitting that gavel. Stop interrupting me. Either. Oh my God. What?
I'll stop the gentleman from interrupting you.
You leave here. Go home.
Thank you.
Shut up. Shut up.
No, free speech. No.
It's my time, not yours. If you want to get up here and talk about whatever you want to talk about me, more than
First of all, look at the shirt you got on the front.
yeah, fuck you too, buddy.
You beat your mother with that belt?
Yes, I do.
Folks, we're not gonna have a meeting if we can't do it over. So if you can allow the speaker.
He started this,
If
dude.
you can allow the speaker to go ahead and finish, then we'll go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, how much time do I have? 0. 52? Thank you very much. I can't accept bootlickers. Because you know something? I've got a grandfather, a great-grandfather, my parents, all fought for this country's rights. The same ones that everybody here deserves. But if somebody wants to tell me that I can't say what I want to say because of the things that have been done to me in Clearwater, then they can go fuck themselves too. Have a good one.
Why don't you just
Hey, welcome to the evening.
That's right. Thank you. You're the dumbass. Why don't you go home 4 hours away?
What are you gonna do, bro? What are you gonna do?
Well, if you want to have a conversation, please take it outside. Let people take it.
Yeah, we can take it outside, dude. I ain't scared of you.
Good evening. My name is Sean Perry.
Any day of the week.
I stand before you as a permit advocate for our native.
Guys, hey, look, which I say, not really, I don't want to bring this meeting. I don't want to drum this meeting, but if we're not going to
drive progress.
not gonna let people speak.
Suppressing free speech.
If we're not going to let people speak at the microphone, then we'll have to adjourn the meeting. So, I want to give, if you want to have a conversation with somebody, and you're not at the microphone, please take it outside.
Yeah, come on, buddy.
Let
Come on.
whoever's the microphone.
Let's go, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy, come on. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, take it
History shows
outside.
that suppressing free speech leads to ignorance and tyranny. Through the free exchange of ideas, we have achieved our greatest advances. Censorship robs society of diversity of thought that fuels innovation. Consider the recent controversy in Europe where Germany's government has been accused of expansive hate speech and defamation laws to silence dissent. Ordinary citizens have faced fines, imprisonment, and raids for expressing their opinions. This climate of fear has led to widespread censorship, stifling meaningful debate and innovation. John Milton, in Era Politica, argued against censorship and championed for liberty of expression, understanding that truth is best served by vigorous debate. Our Constitution's First Amendment guarantees this precious right, reflecting our core values of liberty and justice. Enacting the draconian rules undermines these values and the foundation of our nation. The chilling effect of such restrictions cannot be overstated. When citizens fear retribution for voicing their opinion, they retreat into silence, stalling innovation and weakening accountability. I implore you to reject this war on expression and uphold our principles that guide our nation. Let us reaffirm our commitment to free speech and pursuit of truth, and the preservation of our democratic ideals. Protecting free speech honors our past, safeguards our present, and secures our future. Thank you.
Hi, council members. I believe we met a couple weeks ago with the EMAX and all that stuff that people posting. Name is Edgar. I'm the vice president for EMAX. I have my members here also. They'll be sharing their views also. I want to talk to you guys about although we have posted events in the previous, and we do have other future events as well to bring in more of the Hispanic population and also other community members into our events. We are looking looking also to see if you guys can help us with providing us with a facility. It doesn't have to be a very large facility or maybe just a small or medium-sized facility where we can host some meetings that we usually have. Our meetings, we don't necessarily have a facility. We go house to house within our members to do some meetings and talk about our events and our future plans that we have in mind, especially when our Hispanic communities need more help and or need resources from us. We don't know where to do those events. So if there's a facility that's not used, that can be, borrowed, where we can do those meetings, that would be great. And especially when one of the things that we do to provide resources to our families is if there's an incident that happened, especially one of the young 16-year-old kid that got in an accident, unfortunately passed away, and there's been a lot of support for within the community to do fundraising, and usually they have to find other ways to do these fundraising, even go up to other cities to host these fundraising events, and we would appreciate to have a facility where we can host that. And not just that, but other meetings such as this, we can even have a council meeting to the Hispanic population in that particular facility. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to bring to the table. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's greatly appreciated by our community that we have a chance to speak on items that we feel that there's a need. I know everybody has different needs, and I'm here to support Mr. Cotton for removing fluoride from our public water system because more and more people that work in water treatments are expressing their concern that they have to wear gloves, they have to wear all this equipment to even handle fluoride because it's acid, and yet we are drinking it, we are bathing in it, and it concerns. My home has a water filtration system, so I'm able to, stop a lot of that. But I know a lot of minority families don't own their home, and unfortunately, they don't put water filtration systems. And then my children, they go to Skyplace Christian School, and they're very fortunate, but I'm also concerned that they are getting water that has fluoride treatment in it. Which brings to a topic that I'm also here for, is for many years we've been advocating, we've been asking that our Hispanic community is in need of a space, more like basketball courts and soccer, and we found a place that is very able to convert into something like that. And I'm also representing here LULAC, which is League of United Latin American Citizens, and Mr. Odilon Mesquite, who is the president of the North Saturn Neighborhood Association. And we've been advocating for the park that's called Sid Victon. It has 7 baseball fields. And what we're requesting is that 2 of them can be converted into a basketball court and maybe a Fast 5 soccer, so that way the local community can access that complex. It's so unfortunate that there's so many kids there that their parents are not able to get them into a basketball league or a soccer league, and that they're just sitting there at home and struggling with obesity issues and having a complex right in their neighborhood that they don't have access to. It kind of reminds me of a friend saying that their generation missed out on learning how to swim because they were African American, and because their parents didn't get a chance to learn how to swim, because their grandparents didn't get to learn how to swim, because they were not allowed to use public pools. So that's not, I know that's none of that is your fault, but I think you guys have the ability and power to change that effect. And that's why we're asking that these kids that are in the North Saturn neighborhood that don't have the means to, or the parents don't have the resources to put them in youth leagues, that instead of them riding their bikes around that complex and seeing other kids play baseball, that they have that opportunity to actually play in that complex. And we know that basketball and soccer is one of the main sports in the Hispanic community that really helps them nourish, really helps them, be disciplined, gets them out of drugs, gets them out of obesity issues, and gets them out of, forming gangs. So that's all.
Thank you. Hello. Good evening, Council. My name is Solomon Petito.
like to request a meeting with the Water PB chief, has been licensed, and those of the city council to discuss the new immigration laws that were recently passed. I would like to schedule this meeting in order to have a better understanding on how these laws will affect the Hispanic and Latino community here in the city of Clearwater. And I would also like to have this discussion to ensure that the Hispanic and Latino community will not be targeted nor discriminated or racially profiled. Thanks for your time, Council, and that's all I have.
Hello, Council, City Manager, City Attorney. My name is Samuel Hutkin. I'm the President of the Clearwater Beach Association. I mean, I had a certain type of speech, but after witnessing such display of rude, free speech, I just have to say that this council and this city management is at your disposal. And at any time you want to talk to them about anything, they're able to be reached. They can set meetings with you. They can actually go over any problems that you have. If you just want a YouTube stream and you're trying to make money off their pain and suffering, that's disgusting. That's not free speech. That is just rude and disrespectful. I'm here to basically say, that I understand this forum is about hearing about citizens' needs and needs.
Help us here and let other people speak. You have an opportunity to speak.
Trust me, I don't want to interrupt you guys. I understand that this forum is about hearing from citizens' needs and maybe some complaints. But I'm here just to point out some amazing achievements that the city has done recently. As my background is in infrastructure running multiple companies, as it relates to leadership, decision-making and thinking forward and moving forward quickly. It wasn't just the storms that made me realize this. It was for 15 years being here. We do have some infrastructure issues, and this leadership group, council, and city manager had to inherit a couple of issues. But they worked so fast in so many ways. When the storm hit, yes, I was up for 18 hours and 3 hours of sleep. But each city council, each city, and the management, I must have talked to Dan Slaughter, I'm sorry, Dan, 5 times a day. I bothered him, midnight, 1 in the morning. I texted him. He responded. Pulling resources, moving people to help people. Even people pulling up on jet skis trying to save people out of homes. There was so many things that people did.
Just go ahead and
oh my God. There were so many things that the city did. I'll wait. There are so many things that the city did to help not just the beach residents, but all residents. I was just impressed. I was still learning all the things. And I've been talking to the city for many years, but I still was learning that how they were adapting, figuring things out. That's the most important thing that we all need to realize. You have an adaptable city council and city management. They're not saying it's perfect. They're saying, how can I get there to protect you? I understand we have a lot of build back that we have to do, but what's important is trying to understand by communication what we need to do to make things better. And I just wanted to say, I'm impressed. And it's hard to impress me. I have actually gone to council and I have actually complained about a couple things. But at this moment right now, I can't be more impressed with what is happening right now. There are things we have to fix. We have dune restoration we have to do. We have seawall issues that we have to deal with. We have pipework and infrastructure. But this team is working not just in this level, but on the state level to try and help out. My congratulations to you guys. I'm sorry you have to deal with all this at a regular basis, but we're here to support you. Thank you.
What's up, guys? The only person that deserves any respect up there is Tom Cotton. The rest of you are Constitution killers. Absolutely. I just found out that Texera on a hot mic called Mr. Haluba a dumbass. I don't know who she thinks she is to call somebody a dumbass. I think he was here doing his thing and paying taxes while you were still pooping your diaper. Right? If you think he's a dumbass, well, let's have a live debate and we'll see who the dumbass is. I also saw you guys took $13,000 from the Greek Orthodox Church, which is my family and relatives. I'll go let them know the things you do here. And considering you have a $25 million budget for the police force that doesn't even know basic law, maybe you can fork over 13 grand, right? You bring up Martin Luther King on your website, you honor him, yet you arrest people for free speech. Sergeant Stiff over there arrested a man because he said he gets under the thin skin of the mayor. I'm not impressed with that. The second in charge of the police union was caught trafficking hundreds of pounds of fentanyl and other drugs. The fluoride in the water, I thought Pinellas took fluoride out of the water 10, 12 years ago when a bunch of activists came. You guys took it out of the water. I guess you had to have that neurotoxin in the water, and it seems like you guys are drinking it by the gallon or the case, however you buy your... You as a lawyer, Mr. Rectum, said that I had to surrender my right to privacy in order to exercise my free speech. I don't know where you got your law degree, but that's not the case. Who we got here? Sergeant Ray Cruz, while in uniform, in his car, is sending dick pics to women. Right? That's impressive, right? Isn't that impressive? Yeah. We also... Gavel, please. Interruption. We've been arrested for speech. You guys have put people in a cage for speaking. That's the only reason we're here. Not only that, you took away someone's Second Amendment right and falsely imprisoned him on the beach. And then when he came to city council to talk about it, the police chief assaulted him. What's wrong with you people? That's not impressive. You claim wasted tax money and we're wasting tax money. You guys created an extra meeting and you investigated free speech activists for over a year. How much money did that cost? I'll do an open records request. How much money did that cost? John Felix at Gmail. Open records request right there. You have a reasonable amount of time to deliver. Property taxes. DeSantis is considering getting rid of property taxes. Anyone that doesn't vote for getting rid of property taxes has a screw loose and is really pounding down the fluoride. Get rid of the property tax. You shouldn't have to rent your property from the government every year. And the only people who would have a problem getting rid of property tax are government parasites who pad their pensions with that money. How much time I have? 10 seconds. You guys getting it yet? We offered to leave, but you guys created a circus. Have a good day.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'm Cecilia. I will be translating on behalf of the pastor.
Thank you for having us here. I think everyone here is spending time to make our community better. I'm pastor for 15 years, working with the community, especially with the youth, and I'm part of Women's. And what they spoke before about how important it is for us to have a place for our youth, I think it's very important because the experience I have working with the youth, it's the people or the youth that are involved in any sport, they are the more successful person. And this is really important for our community because this Spanish culture, we don't usually go place to place. Where we born, that's where we stay. So if we help them and give them the opportunity to have a place where they can do what they need, church or any sport, we want to make this area Clearwater better and better. Thank you.
Well, this is going to be a different speech.
My name is Ellen Nevada, and I'm co-chairman of the Downtown Gateway Business and Neighborhood Association. And I had read the memo from Monica about this meeting tonight, and it kind of went in the back of my head. And then a couple of people said, "Oh, you're going to give a speech tonight." And I said, "Oh, am I?" And so anyway, here I am. I literally wrote this up at 3 o'clock, so I haven't had much time to practice. So if you'll bear with me, here we go. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. I wanted to come here this evening on behalf of myself, Maurice Garber, and all of the Downtown Gateway community. We all are so thrilled and thank you all for giving us the beautiful streetscape and now the stunning Mercado, colorful shade sails, glowing in the breeze, and the magnificent mosaic mural. It's just breathtaking. It has taken a long time for the streetscape and Mercado to come to fruition, but well worth the wait. This is more than we ever dreamed of. I mean that from my heart. We never thought it would be that way. With the fun and very nice ribbon cutting ceremony back several months ago, with the mayor, city officers, guest speakers, great food, I think it was from Julie's, we really felt so very special. And now, with the upcoming huge grand opening and the unveiling of the mosaic mural, this is the icing on the cake. Many more events will be scheduled in the future for all to enjoy. In closing, I would like to mention the Neighborhood Day event coming up on March the 22nd. Our community group did participate in a previous neighborhood day way back maybe in 2009 or 10, something like that, coordinated with the opening of the Clearwater Community Garden on Rose Street. So we were on Rose Street and then the community garden was over here. It was a neat event. This year we are asking the community garden to participate and bring a table. And they are going to bring honey that was created by the bees in the Clearwater area. So, we applied and have gone forward with our idea. But be sure to come by our table for food from the restaurants, music, games, and crafts for the children, and of course, our monthly raffle. When you all make the rounds, if you come by our table, we'd really be thrilled to see you. The clock is ticking. Okay. Again, thank you all for the hard work and planning, the many changes in plans, and the hoops you all had to jump over and go through. And there were many, many times that happened. So, in the words of George Costanza on the Jerry Steinfeld show, the Gateway's coming back, baby. We're coming back bigger and better than we ever imagined, and we can't thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Mariana Rizu, and I want to talk a little bit about what happened to the kid. So everybody knows his name was Emmanuel Perez. Well, that made me feel so sad because I have kids, and I'm pretty sure everybody has kids here and everybody has grandkids. So I just want to ask you, please, to put cameras at least 2 miles around. I just driving this morning and I saw her mother in front of the cross next to the teddy bear and the flowers, looking for proofs, looking for cameras. I'm sorry if I'm crying, but that really touched her heart. Please, we want to have cameras at least 2 miles around because there's too many schools around and people driving so crazy. She's looking for proofs. How can she gonna find proofs if no cameras? Please, that's what I want to ask. Please, thank
you. On behalf of our entire city, our hearts break for that young man and his family. So sad. The entire community is mourning for his loss.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
My name is Ray Plum. I'm with the Sankey Civic Association. Back in June of 2023, the association was wondering how not the city could serve us, but how we could serve the city. So we invited the Clearwater Fire and Rescue to our office, and we asked them if they would like to do high-rise fire training on Sankey instead of in a 4 or 5 story training tower, but in real life situation and up to 23 stories. They jumped at the chance. We didn't know if it could be designed, but through the city attorney and city manager's office, mayor, city council, it came to a reality. So if anybody in the last 21 days went down through Santee, you saw fire trucks, there's 4 or 5 of them outside of Crescent Beach, South Beach, and also Finale. We performed the first 3 condos for fire training. And so I just want to commend this city for their participation. I want to commend every employee in the city of Clearwater. I have never run across one dissatisfied employee. You're all a team, and we commend you. Thank you so much.
Do we have another speaker?
Good evening. My name is Jenny Nevin. I didn't come with a prepared speech this night. I wasn't thinking that I would be speaking about anything, but I did come here for a very important reason. I'm glad I came because I heard a lot of these folks in my neighborhood speaking about infrastructure, things that are wrong in our neighborhoods. I'm opposed to the new pier, the grant that you received for the new pier on Edgewater Drive. You're putting the park in at the Edgewater Park. You have a grant for a new pier.
It's not the city of Clearwater.
And what is that?
It's city.
We are not aware of that. At our Edna meetings, we are and that is directly in front of Sediva and Sunnydale, which is Clearwater.
Nothing
You didn't receive a grant for a pier there.
But go ahead.
Oh,
Tell us
okay.
what you came to say about it.
Well, we don't need it. I mean, just because you get a grant doesn't mean we need to use a grant. We've got enough problems since the hurricanes that we don't need to build a pier where parking comes up our street. We're a one-way street. We've had to deal with the Serena condos for the last 2 years. We had enough, okay? We had enough with those condos being built. The people coming up the street.
I think you're talking about the dock. Yeah, it's not a pier.
Now the dock's on Stevenson Creek. I'd like to get to that too. We don't want that either.
I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
Okay, so we had enough with Serena being built, and I don't know if that particular dock that you just spoke of is approved when the condos were approved, but we're also going to fight that. But our understanding from the Edna community, I think you know who we are, Sediva, Marine, Sunnydale Drive, we don't want this pier going out. Like I said, we have enough with the traffic getting out of Sunnydale. I can't get out of my neighborhood. I'm a one-way street. I'm a cul-de-sac. And since you have enough problems with infrastructure and sewages backing up, I just don't think that we need to add a pier where, you know, as one storm's going to come along and you're going to have more problems. You're going to have another battle. Like I said, just because it's free and you get a grant, I don't think you need to use it, and then it becomes an issue later on for taxpayers. But our neighborhood is under the impression by city people who have come to our neighborhoods that pier is going to be put between Sunnydale and Sediva.
We'll try it out.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Council, Senior Leadership of the City. My name is Dennis McDermott, and I live in Lakeview Road in Clearwater. And I did have some prepared remarks which I'm not going to make. I just want to say thank you for making this possible. We appreciate it. Some of us really do care about the city, and when we come forward to talk about issues, we try to come with suggestions, solutions, positive feedback. And we appreciate you making the time to see us. I'm sure you're exhausted after a long day, so thank you.
Next speaker.
Thank you. I didn't come here prepared to speak, but as a young man kind of bashed the First Amendment auditors, it kind of got under the skin a little bit. Because it's not about clicks and views, but it's about accountability and transparency. I've ran across so many officers that don't know the law, but it was the First Amendment community that kept me out of prison. My daughter and my grandson sits in the corner back there to support. I was prosecuted for speaking my mind. Not just arrested, but the whole, even the state's attorney, they prosecuted me for speaking out for my rights. Not further, I'm never aggressive, just defending my rights. So if you really, I don't have a problem with anyone of you because I don't know you, But that's what I heard from this young man. That's his free speech. And I honor that. But I just want to defend the First Amendment auditors because I would have been in prison without them educating me and me getting involved on knowing my rights and staying out of prison to raise my family. And that's all I had to say.
He's got a disability about speaking, and he would like me to speak for him.
You want to yield this time?
He can fill out a card, whatever, but he would like me, because he has a disability, he would like me to speak for him.
You go ahead and speak. So, just sit on the table there. We'll gather all that afterwards. Just leave it there. We'll gather it after. If you go to the microphone, people will hear you. Thank you. Thank you. Time is up. Appreciate it. The next speaker, do we have anyone else here wants to speak?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Patrick Rafferty from the countryside area. When the mayor first suggested this meeting as a town hall, I was a bit skeptical at first, but on the other hand, I think it worked out quite well. The formal city council meeting can be used to conduct the city's business in an orderly fashion, agenda item by agenda item. On the other hand, out, some that we're familiar with, some that are brand new. In particular, the infrastructure and the flooding issues affected a lot of us, and some of us are still working on those issues. I wanted to talk about another issue just to bring to your attention, and that is the beach development by design ordinance that's under some discussion, if you will. I think it's possible that we may want to consider a pause or a moratorium on that development because of a variety of reasons, primarily the traffic congestion on Clearwater Beach, which even the mayor spoke about, with respect to the transit time to get from Sand Key into the downtown Clearwater area and so forth. So I think it's something you may want to consider looking at to facilitate Clearwater Beach residents, visitors to Clearwater Beach, and those of us that live in the countryside area that would like to travel to Countryside Beach for a dining experience or something like that. For my wife and I, it's an actual planned expedition predicated upon what we think the traffic will be. And I'm always the one that gets blamed if we guess wrong. That's okay. No problem. It was suggested to me, however, there may be a legal requirement that would require you to continue that beach development by design. And for that reason, I'm going to be asking Mr. Margolis to perhaps opine as to whether there is a legal requirement at one of our meetings or staff meetings, I beg your pardon, work sessions, that would say we have to continue with it. But otherwise, I'd like the council members to give it serious consideration to addressing the development/traffic congestion problem on Clearwater Beach. It is designed by development motivated, and maybe after 30 years, there might be time to pause. Once again, I'd like to thank the mayor for the suggestion of this town hall. I think it's worked out quite well. A great turnout of people. We've had all kinds of things here: drama, excitement. You can't beat it. Thank you very much.
I never spoke at a city council meeting, so excuse me, but I am a little concerned. I live in Largo, so I'm not really in Clearwater, but everything I do every day is like pretty much in Clearwater. So I think my biggest concern, I moved here about like 2 years ago, is just like the vacant buildings in downtown Clearwater. And I feel like that area really needs more like attention or development or something like that. I try to support the businesses in Clearwater, but you know, when you're in downtown, like on Cleveland Street and stuff like that, and you just see like lines of vacant buildings with nothing going on, it's kind of disheartening because like I could just go to Tampa, which is like 20 minutes away, but it's like peace and go to Eden. And I understand why they're vacant because you know the people who shall not be named, but I understand that freedom of religion is like part of the First Amendment, which is like the spirit of this meeting, but I feel like something needs to happen to like kind of like slow down their growth in downtown, where like they just buy these businesses and they're just allowed to just keep them shut. Nothing happens, and like it's just I understand property rights, but it's like I don't know, maybe the city should be buying them instead of them, and just like trying to like maybe rent them out for businesses at rent at a lower rate or something like that. I disagree with one of the speakers here about that opening a pier is a bad idea. I think a pier is a great idea. I think like local fishermen and local families would really appreciate having more public spaces to be able to fish and just hang out. There was one thing I did want to mention was that the YouTube channel for this government body does have YouTube comments turned off, which is a violation of the First Amendment. And I don't agree with everything that goes on, right? But I do think that like when there's been lawsuits about congressmen that block people on Twitter, and the courts ruled that they have they're not allowed to do that because they have freedom of speech. I don't think the government body should be really stopping people from being able to speak on YouTube, which is like a public space in the 21st century. On the traffic issue, I go to church in downtown Clearwater, so I go over that bridge every Sunday. I do think it's a pretty big problem. I don't really know how to fix it, but it is something I feel like that needs to be addressed. That's really it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison Dolan. I'm with the Clearwater Historical Society. I never get to come to the nighttime meetings to tell y'all what's going on in the museum, but this night worked out well. But I just wanted you to know, like at the museum, we're getting ready to open up our getting ready to have our opening for our sixth Trailblazing Woman. There'll be 8 women that we're doing this year. We always also make sure the ladies from the past are also brought up, so in case you missed those, you can. I also want to tell you about the Plum House. We got an ARPA grant from y'all, and we were able to rehab the outside, paint it, put new electric. It's not sexy stuff, but it has to happen. And we also took a Saturday and cleaned the inside. We were lucky enough that I was actually going to hire someone to come in and do the historic wood windows. And because there were so many that need to be done, he actually held a workshop, so it cost us nothing but lunch. So not bad. So it was a good way to spend money. So hopefully we'll find a good use for the home soon. He has to come back, so if anybody else wants to learn how to do wood windows, he's going to do a second one so he can do all that one upstairs, because some were a little worse than the others. Other things that we have going on this year, we actually started a teen advisory board with the Clearwater High School, Rho Kappa, which is the Honor Society for History. And so they are going to do in May, they're going to go open up they've worked for 9 months now on an exhibit called Graduation. And graduation is at the end. And they're doing it all about the history of Clearwater High School, and they're also doing it about all the teachers that went to school there, graduated, and came back to teach. So they'll be honoring all them. So we have a lot going on, and just to think that only 8 people do all this is a lot. So everyone come by and visit, let us know.
Thank you.
City staff. I'm Chris Michael. I live on South Beach, on the beach. And first of all, I want to echo what some of the people said today, that we do appreciate the work that you did to bring us back to normal on the beach after the 2 hurricanes. In our neighborhood, which is Clearwater Point, many people lost their properties, and they are working diligently to get their permits. So thank you for supporting them there. On another issue, I want to bring up something that has been happening to us, and I think this came up recently on the record to the whole issue of traffic on the beach. We're all aware of the income produced by all the businesses on the beach, and we definitely do not want to halt people from coming to our beach. It's still considered one of the premier places to visit. We want to continue that. For your information, I put this together for Mr. Slaughter, because I know he's in charge of traffic. That's under his purview. We started, most of us who live on Clearwater, we started in 2016 giving ideas, suggestions about how to fix the traffic. So it's almost 10 years, and it is getting worse and worse. For example, we said, eliminate street parking on Coronado Drive and Gulfview. We mentioned at peak traffic times, use Coronado Drive and Gulf Boulevard as one-ways. On weekends, we suggested implement floating ways on the Memorial Causeway. Those that come east and those that come west. We also suggested that we change East Shore Drive and Sunset Avenue to one-way streets. At that time, we also said there were several of us who were conscientious citizens on the beach who offered to be part of a task force to work with the staff and work with the city council to come up with some suggestions, especially some that we could try for winter times to see if they made a difference. Nothing happened with that. So I'm coming before you again to say someone who's concerned about our city and someone who's concerned about the income potential that we get from the beach, that you consider putting together, Mayor, a task force of people, of staff, under the direction of Mr. Slaughter, and people who are citizens like myself who offer to brainstorm and come up with some potential solution. Thank you.
When people have issues with the city or the police department or an entity that is involved with the city, and they have issues, and the city manager is in charge for looks over the entire employee of the city. And when they have issues and they're not being looked at, and people feel that they're not being heard, we come to you at this city council meeting to speak, hoping that our voice is going to be heard and something is at least going to be looked into, if not taken care of. And I see that Mr. Taylor has his "fuck all y'all" shirt on tonight, and he's still in the meeting. Y'all haven't kicked him out. Have y'all learned that that's not against the law? That that's not a violation? It's actually a violation of your rights to kick him out. I'm currently being prosecuted for something that I said after a meeting was put in recess, because y'all kicked him out for what his shirt said. What I said in that recess is not against the law to say in this meeting or out on the street or anywhere. I didn't offer you an olive branch, and I'm not going to give you one. I'm being prosecuted right now for free speech. I have to come to court every month and fight this case over free speech, something that I said in this city council meeting.
During recess.
During the fucking recess.
Not a threat either.
During recess. Yeah, you were the one.
I'll be back. As often as I can come, I'm going to come here and I'm going to speak. Fuck all of you and fuck the police department.
Anyone else who would like to speak? Yes, well, seeing that, we will adjourn. We have one more speaker.
Hello, council members. After that, I'll just start with saying I've had 3 interactions with Clearwater Police Department. All pleasant. I got pulled over. The guy told me how to fix my tail light, and he showed me if you don't have the high beams on, all good. You won't get pulled over again. My name is Austin. I'm a business owner in downtown Clearwater. This past weekend, there was a big show at the Baycare Sound. It was Of the Trees, Detox Unit, Freddie Todd, and Psycho Black with Fly. After the event, there were a number of after parties. They were all located in St. Pete. They were all located in Tampa. My team and I held the only event in downtown Clearwater after this show. It was comprised of a silent disco, no noise complaints, 5 local DJs, and a number of different artists, people who make crafts, people who make clothing, all that kind of stuff. I got kava from a local business, Drip, in downtown Clearwater. The turnout for the event was around 225 to 250 guests, which for the first event, not bad. Honestly, when I heard of other proposals to the city, and I know some other merchants came in today asking for grants from the city and that sort, I had a shoestring budget, essentially, where just basically some of my homies threw some things together, you know, different projectors, things like that. And we had a really special event. I did a little research online after checking with each individual guest because, you know, me being a small business owner, I essentially was the one in the front. I didn't have the ability to hire someone. So I asked each person that walked up to my event, have you visited Clearwater before? Have you visited the Baycare Sound? And what did you think about the venue? No, they haven't been to Clearwater. No, they haven't been to the Baycare Sound. And they thought it was freaking cool. Some of them might have, you know, done an expletive. I'm not here to say that. I did a little research online, and just to like read a few quotes to you. The first one, made history for the Tampa Bay area, putting us on the map. Baycare is ready for all the major EDM, electronic dance music headliners. This venue is absolutely up there in competition with Red Rocks, which is a large venue in Colorado. Baycare Sound is one with a ton of zeros after it, better than another venue that's located in Tampa. Best venue I have been to in a while. Unlike another venue, the Baycare Sound is outdoor. You can legit smell the beach air at the rave. The electronic music market currently is estimated around $12 billion in 2023, 2024. Recent reports is expected to double by 2032 to be about $24.5 billion. Opportunities remain abundant in the market as consumer preferences continue to evolve. The synergy between festivals and consumers create a community of passionate fans, enhancing artistic visibility and encouraging music consumption. All I'm asking for from you guys, I've spoken to you all one-on-one before. Give me a little bit of your time. I'm a sucker for a coffee from Restoration Cafe. I'll send each of you an email. Reach back out to me. I have a lot of great ideas. Just meet with me, give me your time outside of a public forum.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilors. How are you all doing? I'm not from around here. I'm from Seminole, but I moved down here in '75 to Clearwater. I like Clearwater. The problem with Clearwater is you guys don't like free speech. You like to corral and try to place and box. And I personally have the same problem with the school board and their police force during the COVID days. The police force is to enforce laws, and though their training could be better, particularly the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and Section 4 and 5 of the Florida Constitution, they got a job to do. That's not to be your personal security decorum. That's not necessary. You guys are really doing this really dumb, in my opinion. You got a lot of nice things here. Your tax base is shrinking because you have a bunch of people bought up a bunch of land that you can't tax. So it makes it tough for you, and your property tax situation might be changing here, thank God. You guys need to free up on free speech. I don't come to Clearwater anymore. I used to. Yeah, honestly, Eric Gales is here on Saturday, and I thought that'd be cool, but I'm like, no, it's free. But then I'm like, no, I can't patronize people who don't appreciate free speech. And I know some of these auditors, they're paying for that, they're a little rough around the edges and all that, and I get that. It's not, that's part of government. It'd be a great job if you didn't have to vote and deal with people. But you do. Yeah, I am, and I appreciate that. That's why I'm here. But you guys are trying to change the rules and trying to box it and think of, what does Pinellas County do? Maybe we can pre-sign and all this other stuff. Just do what you did. A lot of these people go away. The people who drive you nuts, apparently, they go away. I'm in Seminole. I can drive here, there, and everywhere. I'd like to come back to Clearwater and do stuff. Like I said, Eric Gales, was here Saturday, missed Alice Cooper. I'm going to keep on missing these shows because I'm not going to pay for you guys doing stupid stuff. So I pray and hope that you guys get away from the control. I know that, listen, at the end of the day, if you don't give people an outlet here at the meetings, they, like some people at the school board, they meet them in the right away of their houses. And they create a protest zone there. You don't want that either. I don't want that. Don't do it. Just get over, drop the control, relax, breathe, and it's going to be okay.
Hello. My name is Frank. I'm a resident of Clearwater. I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank the police department. Just because there's a couple of people that are jacks that aren't cooperative with the police department and with these people, there's other ways. They got to go on YouTube, make money, do what they're doing. It's not great. And you know what? I'll be there every meeting now that they're here, just to bother them the way they're bothering you. And it's wrong. And I'm sorry to all the women in the room of the shirt that people are wearing, or the profanity that was said. And thank you, police department. I think you do a good job. I live here, and I'm very proud to live here. This is my town, and I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to keep it short because I know everybody wants to go home. I want to thank everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Master Sergio. I live in Clearwater. First of all, thank you all for sitting out there and doing your job each and every day. I know it's a hard job to do, and I commend you for doing it all the time. I also want to say free speech is a great thing, but it shouldn't be offensive to other people. Free speech should be respectful. It's not just to get clicks or anything else, but anyway, they're here, let them do whatever they want to do. But the opportunity is to... I was so blown away tonight by there was over 7 associations here from the city, different people speaking about what's going on in the city. It's about a positive thing, what we can do to make the city better. And I'm going to finish my time here, if I can, to pray for you. Dear Heavenly Father, please put a blessing upon these council members, upon the city employees, upon the people in this room. Help them to understand your will. It is your will that we need to do, Lord, not ours. Please, Lord, work in this city, work in this country to make it a better country that we might all come home to be with you. These things we ask in your precious Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
I'll be very quick, but I couldn't leave it without talking about Drew Street, and I just have a new experience with Drew Street that I wanted to share with you. Now that we're getting into the better weather, longer days, sunshine, rain, grass is coming back, and all the other things need to be trimmed, which means there are a lot of landscape companies out on the road with their big trailers. The residential section that we all know where it is has narrow streets. I drive it every day. You have to be very careful because those trailers take up more than a road street. Just like some of the big cars that have, the big trucks, those F-150s, that have things protruding from their tires where the hubcap should be, and very large rearview mirrors. They literally take up more than the road. So you have a choice of getting your car scratched or just standing back and then slowing all the traffic because you're standing back. So on the list of things of why it's a good reason to enlarge those lanes, I just wanted to add it in the springtime.
Thank you. Just 3 more minutes, so Mr. Michael will be our last speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, council members, city staff, my name is Rudy Michaelek. Today was the second session, I believe, with regards to strategic planning for the city. The looking forward of the 10-year program really requires tremendous involvement and interaction and a lot of work effort on the city in my belief, a lot of burden on them in order to produce the results that you're all looking for. I know part of that strategic planning also looked at ways in which you could efficiently use cost and resources within the city government so as not to impose maybe higher tax rates out into the future. And that scalpel approach to budgeting is actually what's needed in the process to see that going forward we have those resources, we can meet our infrastructure needs, which are significant in this city, and yet make sure that we have the proper tax base in order to pay for the things we have to do. Not would like to do, but that we have to do. One other item that I'd like to bring up, because I didn't hear any of the other people mention, is North Beach. The beach area in Clearwater really got hit bad by the hurricanes that we had, and in particular the North Beach area. And I know that a number of the residents there have reached out to various members of the city government and to the different committees that have approval rights over them taking action. My request of the city council is that would you please take the position of supporting the renewal revitalization of the beach itself on North Beach and assist staff in making positive directions in terms of any refurbishments that need to go on, interactions with the Corps of Engineers or the state of Florida. And with that, I will say thank you and end the day.
Thank you. It's 7 o'clock now, so we'll conclude our program. I just want to thank everybody for attending tonight and sharing information. I've made some notes, I've learned some things myself about concerns the community has, and I'm sure the other council members have too. And I want to thank folks generally. We did have a few moments where we had to call the meeting back to order, but generally I appreciate everyone's being respectful of other people's right to speak and take the microphone and give them time undisturbed to present on whatever issue they want. I also want to remind folks that this is not your only opportunity to share your concerns with us. I can tell you people often do. They write to us, they call us, and I regularly have conversations with folks about issues one-on-one, whatever concerns you. And I know the other council members do too. So anytime you've got any issue, you don't have to wait for a council meeting. You can reach out to us and we will talk it through with you. And often I told somebody yesterday, often we make more progress, I learn more, we have a more effective conversation when we're talking face to face and responding to one another. And I welcome those conversations with anyone in the community. So don't let this be the only opportunity you have to speak your mind or share concerns. There are many other ways in today's world to share your concerns, and we invite you to do that. And we invite those conversations whenever you have something on your mind or realize for us. So with that, we will adjourn the meeting.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey there, how are you?